Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today with my review for Elder Scrolls Blades. As we all know, Bethesda recently began early access for Elder Scrolls Blades. I was just allowed in over this past weekend, so I've been tinkering with this game on my iPhone XS for the last few days, and I'm ready to deliver my thoughts on the latest product from Bethesda Game Studios, starting off with the incredible visuals for a game on mobile, ranging from high poly character models, some looking better than others, to particle effects, good lighting, shadows, and smart usage of color. Blades is easily the best looking mobile title to hit the market, and a tip of the cap to Bethesda Game Studios for breaking down that barrier, even if it isn't the market where most of their fan base is. Now, Blades does feature a story. The Blades are chased away and forced into exile, and upon returning to the town that you lived in, you learn that it has been raided and set ablaze. Soon after, the player discovers a statue that was within your town was destroyed and could be solely responsible for the ash heap now known as the place you live in. It's nothing super interesting and solely exists as a narrative vehicle bringing you from point A to point B. It adds purpose and reasoning to your actions as leader of this town, so it's serviceable enough. Now for the combat itself, which is tap-based. Press and hold your finger on screen until the gold circle is just at the edge. Once it's there, you release and you'll do a little bit of bonus damage. Now if you alternate sides rhythmically, you'll combo the slashes together, doing bonus damage and attacking at a more rapid pace. It's good enough for what the game is. In fact, it's quite satisfying when you get the combo system down and start doing 4-hit combos. Furthermore, you can use up to 3 equipped spells and some abilities too, like power swinging or evading enemy attacks. These are all accessed when you level up and spend upgrade points on one of these. Experience is naturally gained through questing and killing enemies, but sadly it's rolled out at such a dull pace, and by around level 7, your fun is dramatically slowing down, but I'll get into that in a moment. For now, there is another mode that you have to keep in mind, which is the Abyss mode. The deeper you go, the more bonus is earned. Dungeons are procedurally generated, and it's not really about looting where you're picking up chests and all these different pieces of crafting material, but rather it's just killing. It's a small twist on the loop already in the game, but I enjoyed it as it was another layer that let me get better at the combat system and sometimes just turn my brain off and tap away. That's all I needed at that point in time. Not like the game demands a lot of brain power, but you get where I'm going with this. The primary gameplay loop, however, is embedded within the chest system. So as you crawl through dungeon after dungeon, you will loot chests. You can open these in one of 2 ways. The first is by spending gems, the premium currency in Blades, to immediately unlock them. The other is to click the unlock button and wait a very long time. A gold chest takes 6 hours, a silver one takes 3, and wooden are fairly immediate, only costing a single gem to open, so they're really not too bad. The most exciting loot you can acquire from these chests are naturally within the gold, and they usually come in the form of excessive amounts of building material that you desperately need. This fuels your town, where you can go and create all sorts of buildings such as houses, blacksmith, alchemy stations, and so on. When a building is created, you gain prestige, and that will raise your town level. Now here's where the roadblock steps in for this game. What I explained is a sound gameplay loop for a mobile game that is serviceable and actually kept me invested. I continuously checked back on my town, raided dungeons, grabbed all the loot, leveled up my character, and so on excitedly. However, you are eventually blocked off by missions that would only let you progress deeper into the game unless your town level is at a certain point. This leads to you just clicking the unlock button for your chest, patiently waiting the 3 to 6 hours, seeing what you got, hoping that it's some building materials, and if you can now do so, build whatever you can and repeat. Gems are super rare and only come in the form of a level up reward, a singular gem drop from an enemy, not multiple, or in the beginning as some quest rewards, which is a real big shame. The game effectively locks you out incredibly fast, forcing you either to wait or pay in what has become a completely out of touch move. If gems were a more frequent pickup, or if there is a way to farm them, that is one thing, but you simply cannot in this game. It is all based off the RNG system in this game, and sometimes you'll get chests that don't give you the crafting materials you need, and then you're SOL. I'll be honest, for a mobile game, this doesn't look cheap at all. I can understand the motive for Bethesda to encourage players to throw them a bone. It's natural, they invested in their product and they want to make money off of it. Gaming is a business. However, it's as if they didn't learn a single thing from the incredibly successful Fallout Shelter. It was confirmed in August of 2018 2015 that Fallout Shelter had generated $90 million of revenue. Bethesda had announced within a month of its launch back in 2015 that the free game had net them $5.1 million. The game was essentially printing money for them, and it's just because it was fun. Just like any good free game on the market today, people will pay for a good product, but no one wants to be forced into paying for it. Now, some may be a bit surprised by this quick shift for Bethesda in the mobile department. Why not take the strategy of Fallout Shelter and open the whole damn thing up? Bring in all the players, screw early access, remove the paywalls, and generate positive buzz. Hell, they could use it, right? However, I think a lot of us dropped Fallout Shelter a bit sooner than we'd like to admit. Fallout Shelter eventually added in Nuka-Cola Quantum and questing.
Nuka-Cola Quantum, you can reach the quest instantly. Click here to use the Nuka-Cola Quantum Vault-Tec is provided to reach the quest now. That's disappointing. Why can't I just start the quest and do it? Why do I have to probably pay for it?
Which essentially forced players to either wait for the quest or to pay their way through with another premium currency being added. For those paying close attention to Bethesda's mobile department, it is par for the course. Many were caught off guard though, and understandably so. I don't mean that in a derogatory way either. I mean, just look at Fallout 76's Atomic Shop. I've said for months how Bethesda needs to adjust this store's pricing scheme to encourage more people to buy in, and just like with the $100 microtransactions Elder Scrolls Blades, it's there because they know someone's going to buy it. And that may sound crazy, but it's true. However, I offer the alternative path of thought of making your microtransactions way cheaper, or making the game much more accessible and removing the paywall, and possibly multiplying the amount of buyers from one person spending $100 on your microtransaction to maybe 5 buying packages of $20 microtransactions. It is possible to make a game that is free and something you can play that is also good and doesn't block you off. Like I said, this is a very out of touch move for Bethesda, who seemingly has a really good mobile department, because this is the second game they've made that is pretty good. Now, this isn't some mindless rant on Bethesda's business ethics. Elder Scrolls Blades carries a load of potential. It's fun, pretty, addicting in the right way, and has a lot to love about it mechanically. The paywall and in-game store hold it back, quite literally. This isn't a mechanic that some may love or hate. It's not subjective. Unless you want to sling a ton of cash at Bethesda, you'll likely be at the wait screen by hour 5. I don't want Bethesda to put out a premium mobile game completely free and act all entitled about it, like this is what we deserve, give us the free game, man. I want a product that's reasonable, and one that shows Bethesda understands its fan base and that they're not just constantly grabbing for cash. We know these products make boatloads of money either way. Why not make one that can bring in a little bit more if you just bring down that paywall? Now, I understand it's in early access, so some people will say, Maddie, shut the hell up, and maybe Bethesda will fix it, and I truly hope they do, but that's the point of this video, to provide feedback, to let Bethesda know where they've gone wrong and how this game can improve, because I truly believe what they have here is arguably better than Fallout Shelter. It is a first-person dungeon crawling RPG set in the Elder Scrolls universe. I love that idea. Furthermore, building towns is such a guilty pleasure of mine. I once again love that idea, and when I played at any previous events, I was a huge fan of and gave the game positive buzz. But what we have here is the same game that is great, but it's constantly blocked off by this paywall because Bethesda's scared that people will just take the product, run with it, and not pay them anything. They have to get in touch with their consumers once more. Understand that when the game was like Fallout Shelter, for example, in its initial period, which is free and enjoyable, and in turn, Bethesda made $5.1 million in a month, which maybe when you look at the Apex Legends numbers nowadays doesn't sound like too big of a deal, but back then, at the birth of that stuff, that is a huge deal, especially for a first-time mobile game, and it took top of the App Store. Fallout Shelter made waves. Why not just repeat that same process here with Blades? That's what I mainly don't get, and I think it's because Bethesda feels a little more insecure about their products now. They're constantly hiding behind early access, taking a different approach. It lacks confidence, and I just want Bethesda to once again get back in touch with their fans here, because this is a good game. There is good stuff here, but the microtransactions absolutely ruin it. I'm not really freaking out about the store, more so because I've seen this in Fallout 76. It is already high priced over there. I'm not surprised those tactics carried into here, but I want Bethesda to just open their ears a little bit, hear the fans please that I think most people would lovingly play Elder Scrolls Blades, because it is functionable, it is an enjoyable game, and it does have a lot to offer, but Bethesda seems almost scared to trust that fans will give them the money that they need for this product. So I think they need to really touch back with fans, listen a little closer, take some feedback from videos and the forums, and make this into a game that I think people can really celebrate. It's not going to turn around the company image or anything, but Elder Scrolls Blades is a solid title, and I do hope Bethesda starts removing the paywalls, because it's a game that I want to play. But already after playing it for about 7 hours, I'm sitting here just waiting for chests to unlock so then I can build stuff in my town and progress my story. I don't think that's how this game should be played, nor do I think that was the vision that the original development team intended for this product. But those are my thoughts on Elder Scrolls Blades, a worthy mobile title that sadly is plagued by microtransactions and paywalls. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this game, as you guys may have been playing it as well and gotten to early access. If you haven't yet, you can sign up on playblades.com and do so yourself if you're interested, because it is, like I said, a solid time. It's just your fun's gonna end really fast. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do fire away, ladies and gentlemen. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that, as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.